Hello and welcome. Today we're going to break down some simple but super powerful rules for academic writing. If you've ever felt like your university papers could be a bit stronger, then you are in the right place.
So let's just start with a quick question to get us thinking. How confident do you feel about your writing for university or for research? A lot of people find it pretty challenging, but a few simple rules can make a massive difference.
Okay, here is the most important thing to get your head around. The way we talk every day is just not the same as the English you need for academic papers. It's almost like learning to switch between two different languages, and that switch is absolutely key to your success.
So, why is this such a big deal? Why do your words matter so much? Well, because in academic writing, picking the right words is what makes your arguments clear, convincing, and professional. Let's dive in. Our first major rule is all about keeping your writing formal. Seriously, a professional tone shows that you respect the topic and it shows you respect your reader. Let's look at a few easy ways to do this. Check this out. It's kind of wild how tiny word changes can make your writing sound so much more academic. For instance, instead of saying a lot of studies, swapping that for many or several instantly makes it sound more professional. Same thing with the results were kind of significant. Change that to the results were somewhat significant and boom, it's more precise. Simple switches, big impact.
Okay, here's a really common mistake. We all use contractions like isn't, can't, and don't when we talk. I'm doing it right now. But in academic writing, you have to write out the full words. Is not, cannot, and do not. It's like a clear signal that you're in formal writing mode.
And it's not just the words inside your sentences, how you start them matters too. Words like so or plus, they're just too casual. Instead, try using stronger, more formal transition words like therefore or moreover to connect your ideas. It makes your writing flow so much better.
All right, so we've got formality down. Let's move on and see how our next idea builds right on top of that. Being formal is one thing, but you also have to be super clear. That means we have to avoid any vague words that could confuse our reader.
So, what exactly does vague mean? Well, it's pretty simple. It means your language isn't specific. It's not exact. And if your writing is vague, your reader is left guessing what you're talking about. In academic work, precision is everything.
Let's look at an example. The word stuff. It's so vague. What kind of stuff are we talking about? Instead, if you use specific words like belongings or possessions, your sentence is instantly stronger and way, way clearer. And here's another one. How long is a while? A week? A year? A decade? It's just not clear. But if you say from more than 30 years, you're giving your reader precise, factual information. And that is exactly the goal.
Okay, on to our third big principle, objectivity. This is a huge one. It just means your writing has to be based on facts and evidence, not your personal feelings or opinions. You have to think of yourself as a neutral reporter just presenting the information.
So how do we actually do that? How do we stay objective? Well, it really starts with avoiding two types of words. First, exaggerated words like always or never. And second, those subjective opinion words like great or boring. For example, just think about the word always. Is it really true that researchers always argue something? Probably not. A more accurate and objective word would be frequently or commonly. This shows you're being careful and precise with your claims.
It's the same idea here. Your opinion that an article is great is totally subjective. What you think is great, your professor might find not so great. A much better, more objective word is relevant, because you can actually prove that an article is relevant to your topic with evidence.
You also have to be super careful with words like obviously. When you use this word, you're kind of telling the reader what they should think, which can sound really biased. What's obvious to you might not be so obvious to someone else reading your work.
But watch what happens with just a tiny change. If you swap obviously for clearly, you shift the focus. Now you're not talking about the reader's understanding, you're saying that the evidence itself is clear. That's a much more objective and persuasive way to put it.
All right, we're in the home stretch. Let's wrap things up with a few more quick and easy rules to remember when you're editing your work. Think of these as common traps that are really easy to fall into, but luckily they're also really easy to fix.
So here are 4 final things to have on your checklist. First, avoid slang, so you'd use police officers instead of cops. Second, stay away from cliches. Those are just overused phrases like think outside the box. Third, Write out the full words instead of using abbreviations like info for information. And last but not least, watch out for common grammar mistakes like writing would have instead of the correct would have.
So, to bring it all together, just always keep these 3 main goals in your mind. If you can make your writing more formal, more clear, and more objective, I promise you the quality is going to improve big time.
So why does all this matter? It's simple. Following these guidelines will help you communicate your ideas way more effectively. It'll make your arguments more convincing, your papers look more professional, and yes, it can absolutely help you get better grades.
And I'll leave you with this final thought. Think about your own writing for a second. Based on everything we just talked about, what's one word, just one, that you're going to try to improve or replace in your next paper? Starting small is honestly the best way to build great habits. Thanks for watching.